Okay, welcome to the IDEA Committee meeting of December 3rd, 2025. I am calling this meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. Are there any requests by committee members to attend the meeting remotely?
None.
Okay. Did we take roll then?
We have Masha Cohn is able to join us tonight. And there's Cliff. Committee member Highsmith.
Here.
Committee member Horton.
Here.
Committee member Cohn. Present. Committee member is absent, and committee member Mark.
Yep.
Committee member Dennis is also absent, and committee member Zoltowski.
Can I get a first and second to adopt the agenda as it stands?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Any members of the public wishing to make a comment? There's a chance that my children will come. I don't know if I offered that as an appeasement. I think the video games are winning out tonight. All right, so can I get a first and a second to approve the minutes of October 15th, 2020? First.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Let's get into new business then. I'd like to welcome Mitch Bull, who's going to give us an update on the economic vitality.
Great. Thanks for having me tonight. I've served for 6 or 7 years as the Economic Development Director for the city. I'm a part-time contractor. And we've gotten a lot accomplished over 6 or 7 years, and we decided to make a change in the department. And instead of doing economic development, we changed to economic vitality. We changed to EVO, Economic Vitality Office. And you go, why do that? Well, for years, economic development is tasked in most cities with filling vacancies, building on under improved lots, and just bringing business in. We don't see it that way. We have a lot of Brisbane's built out, with the exception of the Baylands. So we're not going to be growing a lot other than what happens out there over the next 5 to 20 years. But our economy is really more cohesive. And what we're trying to do in this rebranding is to make it more, I hate to say, but holistic, where we have the citizens, the businesses, city staff, our elected officials, everybody working together to move the economy forward. So, we can bring companies to Brisbane and get them situated in buildings, but if we don't make an environment where they succeed, we succeed as a city, then they leave when their lease ends or whatever. So our goal is to really invigorate the companies, invigorate the citizens, and invigorate the whole business concept, like new projects on visitation. We're looking at several things to try to help the businesses that are on visitation, that have been there for a long time. How do they continue to succeed? Because it's a tough place to do business. There's not that many of us. Okay. But we also need to address issues at the shopping center. What can we do to improve that? The bank building property. And then, of course, you have the Baylands, and we have businesses out there, especially bakery and others. So the goal is to find out what the businesses need from the city. So we've been going out and having one-to-one, face-to-face interviews with city manager, myself, and the business owners to say, okay, what is it you need from the city to do a better job of serving your customers, serving the city, and succeeding? And we've gotten a lot of feedback. And with the citizens, we want them to feel good about the businesses that we do have here. Because for a city of 4,500 people, we have 700 businesses almost. That's more than probably 2/3 of the cities in San Mateo County. And I hate to say we take them for granted, but we all take them for granted. We would drive by them on Valley. Do you know who's in those buildings? Most people don't. They read the sign, they have a name. What do? I don't know. Well, that's what we're going to try to change through outreach. We're doing articles in the Star.
Yeah.
We're redoing a new website. If you've not seen the EVO website on the city homepage, you should go. We shot a video called Welcome to Brisbane, and where I do a fairly good Rick Steves imitation. If you've ever seen Rick Steves. Okay. And it's
Very good.
and instead of tramping around Europe, I'm tramping around Brisbane. And we're basically showing the outside world what we have here. And it's not just what business is, but it's the environment we have. We have one of the best office parks in the Bay Area, which is Crocker Park. But yet most people go, oh, it's been there forever, and they don't think about it. We have a great, the walking trail.
Mhm.
The walking trail used to be a train track that went around the park
Oh,
with steam trains. That's how that started. So, Brisbane has evolved over the years. And so we're trying to make development is not necessarily a good word to many people. Vitality is a much better word. And we're trying to make it all encompassing. That's what we're trying to do. Because everybody has a stake in this.
mhm.
From the regulations and laws we pass from our elected officials to our citizens being customers to the businesses we have, and our businesses really understanding they're here. Are they here just to do business? Are they here to integrate themselves within the community through volunteer projects, monetary donations, whatever we need? And that's what we're trying to do. We're leaning on them for disaster recovery, disaster preparedness. For instance, if something happens and we have probably an earthquake or a fire, and we're cut off from 101, Buy Rate is going to step in and probably help us with food and water. And those are the kinds of things we're trying to do. Generators Unlimited. Have you ever heard of them? No? They're out on industrial. They do huge portable generators. So if we had a power outage, we could get them to come in with some generators and power the city back up. So those are things, we need to know what our businesses are, what they do. Can we lean on them? Can they lean on us? It's all about creating a total holistic environment. So that's what we're trying to do. And we just kicked it off this year. So we're in the very beginning stages. But we've been working on the concept for about a year. And like I said, we've been having interviews with our businesses, and I've met with lots of commissions, and they've all been pretty favorable to what they've offered, ideas of what they think we can do. So I look forward to any interest, any ideas you have. And I'm going to leave you with my card and a little blurb that we had out in the store. And feel free to contact me. And look forward to working with you all.
Thank you.
There's another card. Any questions?
No.
Mitch, thank you for giving the presentation. And, one of the things that, there's some similarities, to what, you guys are trying to do. And, Alex, and Anna, at the interviews last night, just talking about like, okay, you're at this kind of early stage. And even though you've been around a while, but it seems like now you have your footing and there's excitement ahead. One of the things that Mitch will be doing, and he talked about making those connections with the businesses. We need for the businesses to interact with us, right? So like Mitch was talking about, yeah, they come in and we like their property tax, from the owners of the warehouses or other businesses, or sales tax or the transit occupancy tax. but we want them to volunteer. We want them to do things in our community. And we know a lot of businesses, these big corporations, they've gotten rid of their DI missions, things that they were promoting before, and they've gutted them. Thank goodness the city has not, and we're very committed. Sometimes, okay, everyone knows that that is important, but we have this administration that we're just like, okay, we'll just put our heads down. But showcasing that we still believe in that and we want to continue to promote it. We know a lot of our businesses are owned and run by minority folks.
Yeah.
Right. So we got your back. And to make that kind of connection, I think it would be really valuable in strengthening what Mitch would like to do, which is to get our businesses more involved with what's going on in the city.
And they've been involved. Some have been involved for 30 or 40 years. From the scholarships that we give to high school, or that the chamber gives to high school students, we have probably 20 businesses that have donated for 30 years on that. And the other things that Concerts in the Park, businesses donate to that to help make that happen. But we want to see more volunteers, and we want to see them more tied to the ethos of what we do. And some of the younger employees at businesses are pushing for more boots on the ground type of volunteering. So we want that to become a staple for some of them. And that's hard to do because they're here doing business. Well, I want them to take 3 or 4 hours every half year out of their day and give us some volunteers to do some things in the city.
And on the interviews that you've been having with the businesses, are they interested in doing that?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Some are. I mean, obviously, small businesses have a somewhat harder time doing it.
Yeah.
And our bigger problem is many of the things we do in the city that, like our Festival of Lights and other things, they're on the weekends.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't here.
I wonder if there's opportunities. I'm just thinking about all the things that like Genentech and like Gives Back Week and everything,
Yeah.
but if that was sort of reversed and instead of the companies coming up with the volunteer programs of like Parks and Rec or the library or schools could offer like a menu of volunteer.
Those are things we had that discussion with Park and Rec about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So they're coming back to me with some ideas. So we think there's some traction that we can get here.
I think to Alex's point, so at Genentech, we do this Gives Back Week, and we have like $25 that we go out and spend specifically on the businesses in South San Francisco. And so maybe some kind of idea like that, we can take a day and say, Brisbane citizens, we'd love for you to go. This is the go out and visit these businesses, learn about them, and if you can, spend $25.
No, I think that's great.
Send me an email.
Okay.
Seriously, there you go.
I think you emailed Mitch about the program.
Yeah, and so one of the council goals was to promote more volunteerism, and so we had a Project 101 that we did a month ago. And were you there, Alex? Okay, yeah. So by having structure, you need that, right? If it's like, hey, come and volunteer, okay, yeah, well, how do I do it?
Right.
And so we want to create a system that you can volunteer at any time,
Right.
And that will connect you with the right partner person that can assist you and your employees to give back. So, yeah, I'm super
have
excited
that in
about that.
place with the Brisbane Cares program.
Mhm.
There's a webpage, brisbanec.org/cares, and people can either volunteer, like register for volunteering on their own, or there's a group volunteer interest form. So maybe Mitch, this could be
We
something
need
that,
to get that.
yeah,
program.
businesses are aware of this,
Yeah.
so that they could say, hey, yeah, I've got like 20 employees. And then when there's an opportunity, then they can get matched. or
mean,
something.
probably 30 years ago, there was a great organization in San Francisco in the Bay Area called Christmas in April. I don't know if anybody remembers Christmas in April.
Rebuilding together.
It's now Rebuilding Together. They changed their name. But in April, they would do projects with corporations where you would put maybe 10 to 20 to 30 volunteers and you would go fix somebody's house, rebuild their front porch, put in a new heating system, do all their landscaping, paint. And I did it for many years in that. And I think that's something we can,
Yeah.
I'd like to see something like that that's not just once a year, but get a couple companies to do this because we have seniors that need help.
Yeah.
And how do we connect volunteers? And it's not hard. You need a construction person to oversee it. We have Golden State Lumber, who has always been gracious with their donations of lumber and paint and hammers and nails and do all kinds of stuff. And go, I mean, I've seen new porches put in. You know, I've seen a kitchen remodel in one day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's amazing what volunteers feel good about this when they leave.
Well, you see your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, they go to an office and they do whatever, and they don't see something that gets built. And these are things that get built, and you help somebody that's human. And I think corporations need to do more of that. And I think any way we can spearhead it with them is a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, the people who are the recipients, they have to be low income.
Oh, yeah.
They have to have, you know, some kind of disability.
Yeah.
We have plenty of folks like that in Brisbane. And Rebuilding Together, I'm glad that you brought that up because they want to partner with Brisbane.
That would be amazing.
And they have the structure, they have the expertise. They know how to go after businesses and get them to pony up the money and work with them to get the volunteers from those companies.
Mhm.
Genentech has been a huge contributor
Mhm.
to Rebuilding Together over the years. I'm also involved with Rebuilding Together. So yeah, long-standing relationship. And I've seen 20, 30, 40 Genentech volunteers
Yeah.
show up at a house in South City
Mhm.
and transform that house in one day.
Yep.
Yeah, years ago you would have seen 20 or 30 Hitachi of America, but that's when I got involved. And so a little plug for that. You know, our volunteer rock out here, which has the plaque, the very first volunteer of the year was Hitachi America. And that's
Yeah,
probably
that's
30 years ago.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we did a lot in the community back then.
yeah. There's no reason we can't
No,
do
there's
it
no
again.
reason we can't do that again.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that we're trying to work. And it really breaks down silos between HR, communications, the city, you know, the city staff, because we're all in this together too.
Yeah.
And you know, between public works, there's things that we can all do. So that's what Evo is trying to do.
It's nice.
So
Well, I like the rebrand, Evo.
thank you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Well, thanks for serving on the commission and committee and taking time out of your schedule to do these things. So if you have any questions, comments, great ideas, love great ideas.
Yeah.
And just email me or call me.
We keep an eye on our meetings tonight, see when the big idea comes in.
We have boards that we can track the big ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm generally here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, all right.
Thank you.
With that,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
And I'll email you about the gives back.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, man.
Okay, so moving on to our federal immigration discussion. Can we start with the staff report? Or
Had a lot of attachments, but there was a resident who had contacted the city council in late October. John St. John, you see his correspondence there, attachment 1, but essentially he's concerned for his adopted Latina girls. They don't they don't look like their surname, St. John, and just hearing about all the various headlines. He had sent one that I don't know if you subscribe to Apple News, if you were able to see that, it was a link to the Chicago Tribune, but
Yeah.
anyways, you probably know the gist of that and just people getting, taken after getting off the shift at their work, and his girls carry their passport, with them, but he feels like that wouldn't be sufficient, and was inquiring about just what Brisbane would do. Are we ready for that in terms of our own law enforcement if there were any federal immigration agents to come here? So our city manager, Jeremy Dennis, met with Alex, our chair, and Alex wanted to see if this item could be discussed at the next idea committee meeting. So in the interim of that meeting taking place and tonight, we did talk to our police chief, and she shared that they have like just standard policies that they follow as a law enforcement agency. They're put together by legal counsel, and they're on our website, or the police department's a section of the website. But policy 428 speaks to immigration violations, and they just took a portion of that absent an urgent issue of officer safety or other emergency circumstances, requests by federal immigration officials or assistance from this department should be directed to a supervisor. And that's the California Values Act. So that's also an attachment, but essentially this state law enacted in 2017 limits how local and state law enforcement in California can assist federal immigration authorities, and it's only allowing that to happen under serious criminal cases. Then we received word that the Board of Supervisors on November 18th had an ordinance introduced, and it was, I think it was passed last night, but I was trying to look before this meeting to see if that did indeed happen. But as it was for the second reading yesterday on the 2nd at the Board of Supervisors, and it basically is speaking to amending a section of a current county ordinance and adding sections to it. So they're prohibiting law enforcement personnel from wearing masks when performing their public duties. They also are restricting the use of
I think they like have to show their uniform.
equipment or funds. Yeah. And they want to formalize reporting by the sheriff's office to see how many actual instances take place. And then other attachments are from an organization called Faith in Action Bay Area, which are local officials and staff receive on a monthly basis, where they have reports on how many instances in the county of San Mateo where there have been ICE detentions of residents. And they also have what they refer to as an orange card for sharing with community members. The hotline to call when you want to report an instance of we call it the rapid response hotline to see possible ICE activity. And just today, Jeremy also forwarded a press release from the Attorney General's office where they have a portal now. Him and Governor Newsom, I guess, together were sharing this today, where if you wanted to report unlawful activities, then you can do so. So tonight, we just want to hear more about what the committee is thinking in terms of how we want to proceed in terms of education, or yeah, I'll just leave it at that and see what the committee's thinking after perusing this material.
Yeah, and I can just share a little. We also asked Mary Lentz to join us so that as we have ideas, we can get a sort of instant feedback loop of like, that's something that we could pursue and move forward with, or like that's outside the scope of what we're working with today. So, but yeah, I think this was really also,
But what did the person say who you spoke with? The concerned citizen.
so I didn't speak with them. It was
Oh.
just, it was an email, but it was just the email. I think it was just generally that, people are really worried and they want to know like what we're doing about that. And so I was, not surprised, but reassured by I think the like formal policies, but I think what they're asking about is like what are we doing beyond that, or how are we, obviously there aren't going to be like police officers on every corner to make sure that ICE isn't coming in. And so what are we doing beyond that? And I think that's why we wanted to bring it to this group to think about how within the purview of the city, what can we be doing to make sure that residents feel like Brisbane has their back?
Yeah, his specific question is, what can the city do to protect its citizens against this kind of harassment? They decide to come here. Do you have a plan with the police departments in San Mateo County to not only comply, but to monitor and prosecute illegal behavior by federal agents?
And, just thinking, many times the cities look to the county for guidance. There's been things like, plastic bag, right? Secondhand smoke. And so, small cities don't have the resources to go out and get, legal to create the laws. And so, the county does a lot of legwork, and I feel that our county has been a leader in standing up to the federal government. Counties they receive a lot of money from the federal government because they provide those the safety net services. Cities don't do that as the county, so we don't receive a lot of funds from the federal government. We receive some, but we receive our funds from other areas. So for the county to just be out there, in many ways, there's very few counties that are as bold as San Mateo County is. And so what I feel how we can help is to support the Board of Supervisors in their efforts and say, okay, yeah, it isn't just you, San Mateo County, it's all the cities as well in San Mateo County. We have each other's back, right? The more, the tighter that we are together, the stronger we'll be. There's strength in numbers. So I think following the county's lead is a good idea. And having, you all be well versed in what the county is doing and then using that vehicle to say, city council, hey, what do you think? County is doing this. We've done our due diligence, and we think it would be appropriate for the city to take a similar stand. That could be one way of doing it. I don't know the details, so I'm really just kind of talking at a higher level. You all would go into the details and talk it out amongst yourselves and think what's appropriate. I wouldn't worry about putting forth something that because you're concerned about how the council will react. If the council needs to make changes as it sees fit, then it will do so. So don't try and second guess the council. Just put out what you feel is comes from your heart and from the community.
Two things. One, have there been incidents in the county, specifically in Brisbane, where ICE has come in and, went to a school or went to a business and took employees?
The report that the Faith in Action sent said that there were 24 confirmed San Mateo County residents who were detained by ICE in October. It was in Redwood City, Daly City, San Bruno, San Mateo, Millbrae, South San Francisco, and East Palo Alto. These are only the ones that were reported, but I mean, I'm not aware of anything in Brisbane, but unless someone reports it.
Mhm.
We don't know what happened in San Francisco because I know there were cases
They only show, this is only San Mateo County, so they didn't.
Okay.
include
We
the
don't know.
San Francisco.
because we're close to them. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
but they were saying that, the like anticipated sort of influx of ICE wasn't as bad as it was people
They
thought it would
would
be. Of course, that doesn't address the like mental health issues people are experiencing because of it. Sorry, yeah, that's not addressing the mental health issues that people might be experiencing from like the fear of it happening, regardless of whether it happens. And I think that when I think about what this committee can propose is more around the emotional well-being of residents, because I think the policies are pretty robust in terms of like what police are supposed to do. Um, but
But I think the people don't know that. Like
Right,
a
right.
little bit. Is there on the website for the idea committee? Know your rights,
Mhm.
so that people know that they shouldn't have a mask on. If somebody's
Mhm.
approaching you. They shouldn't have face coverings. They should show identification. Right, like a little bit. I don't. Is there a number to call? Like a little bit about know your rights.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I was wondering if that was something that we could put like in the star. And then I don't know what the requirements would be to do this, but like how they have like 311 for like social service needs, if there's a number that people could call or like a shortcut to the police or something to be like, if you see something, you can call this and you'll be like direct, just so people feel like there's people are thinking about this.
24/7 dispatch number, but
Mhm.
they also have a anonymous tip line that may not be as well known.
Mhm.
If people don't want to call dispatch because they do ask for your name and everything. You're not obligated to provide it if you're not comfortable, but they still ask when people feel uncomfortable sometimes when asked.
And just one question that I had is because all of this is saying that it's the sheriff that's doing that. So that's San Mateo County Sheriff. So what is the sheriff's relationship with the Brisbane police? I just don't know.
They're separate
Yeah.
entities. Some cities, though, do not have their own police departments, and they
Contract.
contract with the sheriff's department. That's why you don't see the deputies driving around. If you went to San Carlos,
Millbrae.
Millbrae, yeah.
There's something like this. Like this is the orange part. It's not
Mhm.
a color, but it's
Oh.
orange.
Yeah, but where is that at?
Where is it at? It's downloadable from Faith in Action Bay Area's website. They have it in different languages, but we can apply it on our website.
Yeah, because nobody is gonna know to go to Faith in Action.
Yeah.
I think we talked about like if we could have them at the library,
Yeah.
like the schools and stuff for people to pick up. I know I've seen them at Melissa's has it posted.
Yeah.
Yep. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I said I can understand that.
Mhm.
Sorry.
So maybe that's something that we could pay the city or the idea committee budget could pay for like laminated cards or something.
Mhm.
Like this
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah, well, she's got the color version.
Yeah, she got the
Other
color.
colors are-
The night.
I guess I'm curious here because I brought this topic up 6 months ago
Mm-hmm.
and nobody said, not us, nobody said that there hadn't been any activities and there really wasn't a concern about it and it was all cool. So the question I like to say is, what's different? Is this the cumulative anxiety that we're all feeling because we all know without talking about it exactly what's happening and what's being in the public press? I don't know. I'm just curious. It doesn't have to be an incident, but for a relatively benign report that's in here to be generating this level of attention, that's in part a good thing, except it wasn't
Well, I think
6 months ago, and I want to know what's different.
I think it's because an individual resident of Brisbane reached out to the city and said, "I'm scared.
concerned.
What are you gonna do?"
But I was in this community and I said that, and nobody had any reaction whatsoever because they said it's not an issue. So, you know, and I'm not complaining, why did you not listen to me and listen to the individual? But
I think what happened was during this time was when the whole Dreamforce conference came about, and Benioff was saying or asking the president to
oh,
bring
you think
back.
that was the
I think this
precipitating
is around
shift?
around the time,
I see.
and then
Okay.
last minute they were called off.
Yeah, I
Because
know
all
it.
the federal.
Right. The feds,
So I
yeah.
mean, I don't know the whole story of how they
Okay.
came to be called off, but I think around this time and around this letter.
I mean, because honestly, I was skeptical. Because, well, look, I'm in the biotech sector. You are too, right? We see a lot of stuff that's, you could go on and on about that, right? Depending on your point of view. And I was sort of skeptical. I said, it's not going to happen here, right? It's nothing here. And then without anything that I knew that would happen, although you're correct reminding me about Benioff. Now,
God,
and that's
never
not a
felt
bad
that
thing.
way. That's all Bay Area, like
Yeah.
all the Bay Area cities then got like startled or shocked in a way.
Mhm.
And supposedly
Well, I'm going to be
billionaires are
skeptical and say, and I'm going to be skeptical and say, billionaires have not always been known for their liberality. Okay, I'm sorry to say, you can,
Bad for business.
you know, it's not. You know, they're not just Benioff and other people we could mention, but
Well, and I think it's also getting closer to home. I know we've had several employees in Chicago get accosted, and they are like born in the U.S. And so it's
just because they looked like foreign, so to speak.
Yep.
Well, just from a personal point of view, I've grown up my whole life reading the New York Times, and that's what I always did. I'm a paper girl, right? We stopped it. You know, I only get it on Sunday because I like the crossword puzzle, period. But because that's all you hear about, the stuff that's happening here. And it's not in a positive manner at all. So I hope we can do something here to have people be calm. But I think it's a Herculean task. I really do. I think it's Herculean. And I guess putting this stuff is great, but people don't read. I mean, they don't. I don't. They look at their phones.
the person got the Instagram page and the I don't know if you have Twitter. I stopped looking at Twitter after the election, but right. So like, I mean, I think there's avenues to
Well,
be able to put
if you
information.
use that quick bite stuff, I'm not knocking the website. You know, that's really good. But I would be willing to bet that the quick consumption of news, because that happens to me too, is just in bites. Whatever the modalities, I don't use
Well,
Twitter.
yeah, and I agree. I think that the website, people need to opt into it and like actively seek it out. And if it's
But the other thing comes in the email because it just came out today.
The blast.
Yeah, the blast.
Blast is good.
The blast is good. I mean, and it's right there. It's like, you
Advertise.
right. I mean, and it comes out weekly.
Yep, Wednesdays.
I'm like, oh, I don't get it. But
Did you sign up for it?
I don't know.
you opted
I've
out of
only
that
lived here
one.
25 years.
It comes in the mail. It's like right there. And it's like a quick thing you could look at really quickly.
It's also a luminary.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
tying to
Oh, the
the
paper
business
stuff. Yeah,
community.
the paper stuff. Yeah, I thought you meant the electronic, but I see what you
It's
mean.
both. It's both with the paper and
Yeah, no.
the weekly email.
Well, maybe it's timely, Caroline, if you can confirm that this like new county ordinance was passed,
Mhm.
then we can include it somewhere so that people are, this is like a timely opportunity to
Yeah.
share.
I do think having the information in the library is also a good idea.
But where are the other places that people? Because I know there are people here that
The laundromat.
yeah.
Yeah.
The people that have challenges with immigration without any judgment whatsoever need to get this information, and they may not have, the
Yeah.
sexy iPhones and stuff like that.
Well, I know I
I
don't
don't
know.
know the answer either.
I don't know how many grades it goes through, but I know that Rosie gets a weekly folder. So maybe that's something that like
Yeah,
the schools could help out with.
yeah, we've sent them things that we'd like them to advertise to the parent committee.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Just as a take home.
Mm-hmm.
Do the schools actually like does Littman, that's the name of the school up here?
Yeah.
Do they actually have programs? Or even at a lower level, do they actually have programs for the little kids? Because they're the ones that get scared. Maybe we all get scared, but
We have like after school program that they go to. The city.
well, no, I
Or-
know. I
I
mean, you
think
could
that-
have a civics class for
Oh,
that matter. You know, like it doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a hot and heavy thing, but you could just talk to people about safety and how exactly what you're saying here about this. We could be telling them.
Know your rights.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have to say it like that, but if you get scared that someone's
Mhm.
following you or whatever.
Sure, because they did a like a fire safety.
Well, I know,
Unit,
you could
and so
do
maybe they
something
can
like
do
that short.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare kids, you know, kids are scared enough as it is. But if the schools could get involved, I think, because the kids know the schools, know the teachers and have some relationship that we would have to be building those. I think dealing with these kids is, I'd like to tamp down the anxiety with the kids, probably,
Or maybe it's the PTA meeting.
or something. I mean, I don't know what, I don't have kids, so I don't know what that.
The PTA meeting. Maybe get on the January agenda.
Do they meet every month?
I think they meet bi-weekly, maybe.
Yeah, it's
They have like one morning meeting and then one evening meeting.
Like, is that what, like, that's with parents
yeah.
and teachers? Is that what that is? Okay.
so
I
are
didn't know
you
that
thinking
often,
like an
but
article or something more like a flyer for this? Like,
Well, I always like giving people stuff,
mm-hmm.
you know, they always like stuff. And I think, you know, this is a nice color, although you have to wonder about orange in the sense that you don't want to get people too riled up here.
I think that's also why the previous flyer and the one that's in Melissa's window is like yellow. So it was really bright. And so it came from the same organization, but I noticed it's different in terms of how
Yeah.
they're wanting it shared. It's an orange card now. And maybe
I'm not, that's not my skill area, but I just, what you want is the information, not too much of this. Like, this is a lot of stuff.
well, I think
was
it's
it, no, it's a card that
yeah,
we
it's like a half page.
Yeah, like this is,
a half
we
a page.
can like combine it. Right now it has like English, but maybe we can
well, whatever,
manipulate
or
it so it's English.
well, you guys are
Spanish.
better at this,
Yeah.
but I think you don't want a lot of stuff on it, only because people don't read it.
Mhm.
I don't read it, so I'm sure a lot of people don't read it.
Okay, so I think a couple of things. One, from what we're saying, maybe in the blast, we would put like know your rights. And maybe if there's an article around, the new ordinance that was just approved in the December Star, we could maybe do something.
January.
January. And then I do think if it's possible to print some of these on a hard card stock in the, couple of places around Brisbane. I definitely think the laundromat.
Yeah, they
That's a
have
great idea.
the board, the posting board in there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I go to that cleaners all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
That's
any,
true, the cleaners that,
Mhm.
is there enough information around, I mean, how to live above fear in such times?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a little guide, can we write an article about it? I mean, just a little mini guide around emotional and mental wellness when you are under fear, under threat, because in the end, it will have to be a conscious decision to decide, I cannot live just in fear. It's a choice to live above it, but it's a learned skill also. So is there any support on that?
I really like that a lot. I'm just thinking, we have yoga class and we have,
Aquafit. Water
Karen's at a a tap class right now, but I think something to do with just mental health and it could be meditation. It could be just a group setting, and maybe partner with the library, 'cause that's a great space.
Yeah.
So, because I think people would like to talk
Mm-hmm.
about how they're feeling, and
Yeah.
and having that shared anxiety, it dissipates when you have someone else who's feeling the same way, and you support one another. And having experts, so it's like maybe the county has some people that can come to Brisbane and share
We got one right here, though.
Yeah.
their segment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maria, yeah.
You too, yeah. Maybe something in January.
Well, we said that we have a workshop, but maybe meanwhile we can still have a resource where people can find stuff. So I'm not sure if what's a better idea to have something printed or have a link where people can go, or
Yeah,
what do you
maybe,
guys think? I mean, just something written, but of course, I don't know. I'm happy to offer something once a month, but I don't know what would be uh like a group meeting someplace where
Coffee
people,
chat.
yeah, if people want to talk about
I
things.
think the problem too, is I think that's wonderful that you would do that, because that's what you do and that's what your expertise is. The trouble is, I know that when talking about meditation, they do have them, but they're at odd times, and it's hard to find a time that's going to work for people. Some people like it in the morning, some people like it in the evening, some people have kids. I don't know. I don't know how you reach all the people. For example, you could do it as a Zoom meeting. Now people would laugh about the Zoom meeting, but I don't know.
You could do both. Right?
I
Our
mean, Zoom
meetings
is
are
where
live and on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Zoom is great. You can do yoga class. There's a lot of things if you put your mind away from it. You can use the electronics to our benefit and not just the business.
Yeah.
So just a thought, but I like the idea of putting these little cars around. Even down in our little shopping center down there, like, I don't know this to be sure, but there's a lot of people that walk in and out of that manicure place on the second floor, right?
Me included.
Yeah, me included too. Not that I don't even have great hands, but seriously, a lot of people do. They all look
The
different.
donut shop.
Men too, different people all look different, young, old, things like
The
that.
Subway. I mean, maybe we can just offer like every business in the
Subway won't let us leave any flyers. I don't know. They just have a policy. You never see flyers in their windows.
Brit
Right.
mandate.
But
Well,
yeah,
I know
of
they
that
do
pro
the
nail
pro
thing.
nails will, because there's flyers all over everywhere.
Yeah.
The other thing is should kind of like we used to have a pandemic preparedness plan, but obviously nobody used it, went out the window. But if we see that the federal government, and we'll know, like they're coming back to the Bay, they're going to be on the Bay in the peninsula. Is there an action plan that we needed to be thinking about now, so that if there is aggressive ICE engagement up and down the peninsula, that we know what we can offer citizens?
Well, think about what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. Okay, so like my football fan, they're going to Santa Clara, and the guy that is doing the is it
Bad
called
Bunny.
Bad Bunny or Bad Bunny?
Yeah, the artist.
He's he's Puerto Rican, but he's going to do his thing in Spanish, and he's very popular, not just with Hispanic folks, but
It's the most popular.
Yeah.
I just heard that today.
and I didn't even know who it was, but the point is, I guarantee,
It'll be a spectacle because it's
Yes.
such a
yeah,
high
I
profile event.
guarantee that there will be lots of stuff there. That because usually the press comes to the Super Bowl wherever it's held, and I don't know, I don't want to be,
The foresight.
but that's something that we should at least as a community have on our radar screen that we should have some sensitivity about probably the week before and maybe several days, maybe a week after. I'm not an expert about it, but usually when I used to work in the hospitality industry, you know, there were a lot of people coming to town, a lot of people, and they stay in the city too. But
And it's going to be a lot of events between the city and Santa Clara.
Yeah,
'Cause
especially
we're
because of the big
participating in
space,
like
right?
4 or 5.
yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Because there's not, they can't house everybody down in Santa Clara. Maybe they'll be down in San Jose, but there'll be a lot of folks will be in the city.
It looks like it's February 8th.
Yeah. Which might be a good time to be reminder of this information.
We can, I was wondering, is there some kind of like app that does like, I know my kids love to do this. They like to change my, what do you call this?
Wallpaper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wallpaper. Is there like a campaign we can do? Like everybody has this wallpaper
Like the orange card is your wallpaper.
or something? And then so everybody is knowledgeable. It could be the mental health tips, or it could be the know your rights, whatever. But I think everybody has the same wallpaper.
Well, I like that. Maybe just an option as a, like a downloadable version of the
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have it as your background, but it's like,
I know people
So
could
you-
probably take a picture of that flyer, but is there some way that we could just, it's easier to have it be your wallpaper?
well, the really cool thing would be if you could download it and it included a link to the like hotline or something,
Oh, to call?
or to
Add
like
it to
submit
your
the,
contact?
How does it say health?
no, to like that you, I don't know, but if you could, instead of having to like look it up and then put it in somewhere else, you could just be like,
A V
okay.
card?
Yeah.
Make a V card for that. So people can scan it and add it to their contacts. We do that for our staff. If
Yeah,
they
it's a
don't want to
business-
order business cards and
Virtual
carry
business.
like
Hmm.
paper cards and it's less, you know, it's more eco-friendly to have it on
Yeah.
your home screen. So you can scan it and then people can save your contact.
Mm.
It's a different, you're a different generation.
It's
I'm sorry to
like
say.
every day I have a
Sorry
different
to
wallpaper
say
because my daughter changes my wallpaper all the time. I'm like, what's that?
But it's nice because when you scan it, it has
No,
an
I'm not saying it's
option to
not
save the
I'm
contact.
not saying it's not
No, but if you
convenient.
have it there,
Yeah.
what's weird is you can't scan your own, like you can't scan that QR code on your wallpaper. You know?
I know, but like on the flyer, I like to put that we
Yeah,
put
on the
out
flyer.
to have a V card option.
Well,
Or like a
I'm gonna
QR
say the word kids, because it's everybody but me, but, do kids use QR codes?
All the time.
Do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
Every day.
Yeah, I don't know.
it's their language,
That is, okay.
not so much ours, but it's.
Yeah,
But I do
I
like
mean,
the
I
V.
do them, but.
I do like the scan and then the numbers in your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to like have it.
So you're saying if you scan it, it puts it into.
Into your
Yeah, we
contact.
could load
Oh,
it
that's
on
not a
our
bad thing.
software so that
That's a
yeah,
cool thing. I
it's
mean, I use.
got that capability.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah,
you're,
I think we'll retool a little
You have
bit of their
You have
flyer.
more than one number in there? So like the hotline,
Yeah, if you make it a contact, you can have, you
I
know,
guess so.
can
They
make-
want to
have
put the police
8
like
numbers.
dispatch, maybe the non or the anonymous tip line, the rapid response hotline.
Well, if people are playing with their
Uh-huh.
phones and you know they are everybody, then I think we should do it.
I think that's a great idea.
What should we call
And I think
it?
that's a really good way to like show the community that we're proactive.
Uh-huh.
There's
What's
no,
the
because
contact
it's also
name?
sort of secret. It's like no one's gonna see it.
that.
They're not gonna look at that and know.
Mhm.
If you're
Global
blurry
response.
with your QR code,
Rapid
doesn't say anything.
Rapid response.
Good idea.
Should we start this, should we meet on January to get the full approval?
Maybe, yeah, maybe staff can put something together that we approve in January so that it's ready to go ahead of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But we'll still go forward with the January star, just like the update on the memo or ordinance.
Got it.
and in the blast.
Mhm.
I also would
January.
like to know, Mayor, maybe you know, are our police gearing up to have at least a heightened sensitivity to the Super Bowl time? Do you
I'm
know?
sure they are, because a lot of people party. And people driving.
They're getting ready for
and
something.
So always.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you just think that they just would do that routinely?
Every year.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I do think that's a good call out. And because I think they've already said that they're going to be looking for people at the
Mhm.
Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, they have said, yes, they have.
Maybe in that scan QR code, we can have a few tips on
Oh,
what happens when you're in crisis
Mhm.
for, so part of the same
that's a good
little
idea.
package. I'll prep something up and then we'll put it into a link or something,
Yeah,
and then it can be in the QR.
yeah, there's like a little, you know, you can introduce yourself,
Just
say a little
simple,
bit
yeah.
about yourself, but we can use that space to put what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All
I like
right.
Timely topic.
And I'm trying to see, when is the World Cup again? The World Cup
The
is
World Cup. Oh.
June 11th through July
And
19th.
that's here too.
Yeah,
It's in America.
yeah.
Right?
North America, some parts in San Jose.
Is it gonna be in Levi or is it someplace else?
I think it's gonna be everywhere, but I'm assuming it's in Levi.
Oh, I think it's at in Monterey too, because they have the
All of North America.
Oh, okay.
because
It's not
the
just
Monterey
South,
has the
I see.
soccer stadium.
Santa Clara, get your tickets now.
Mhm.
But that for sure, like, even
That's gonna be a mess. Who knows who will even be able to come into the country at that point?
I know, like sports, the athletes can come supposedly, but not the fans from certain countries, depending on who gets
Mhm.
placed in the World Cup.
Okay. Well, I feel like this is a good next steps.
We'll have to postpone Diwali till the next time.
When do you need, when are you gonna put this together? So just to know what are my timelines for next month?
For the next, before the
Yeah,
next
it's
meeting.
for the
Okay,
Next
actual
meeting,
next meeting.
somewhere
January.
in January.
Maybe just send it within like a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, before January would be great,
Mm-hmm.
because our next meeting won't be until the 21st.
Like 17.
That's like 2 days after Martin Luther King. Isn't Martin Luther King like the
Yeah.
19th?
Mhm.
That's a
Okay.
good segue.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome to stay, Maryland, but I think we're gonna move on to our next topic.
All right, you know what? I have some work to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, thank you for inviting me, and it
Thank you
was
for
great
joining.
just participating with all of you, and thank you for the work that you're doing in our community. It really makes a difference, and yeah, just when you're feeling that that pressure, just know that you have this community to stand behind you. And I really look forward to that event that you're going to put on. I want to attend that because I think it's important.
In May.
May, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just make a little guide for now.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
You have a good night. Happy holidays.
Bye.
That's right. Happy holidays.
Yeah, good holidays.
Okay, so can we get a staff report on the MLK Service Project?
Sure. Last year, the Ed Committee held its first annual Martin Luther King Service Project with the poetry drive to support the Catholic Worker Hospitality House. This year, our work plan entails an event and a service project for Martin Luther King. So in terms of the event versus service project, with the event, we are looking to the city of Belmont for inspiration. They're hosting a Dr. Martin Luther King poetry and essay contest this January, and it entails that participants write a poem or short essay that makes use of and creatively responds to an MLK quote and how the quote applies to their own community or personal experience today. Staff is asking for direction whether members are interested in holding a similar contest and hosting a brief awards ceremony. In terms of the service project, San Mateo County's CORA offers a comprehensive set of services to domestic violence victims and their families. This includes crisis intervention, safe housing, emergency housing, mental health services, legal services, as well as prevention and education. CORA made a presentation to the council about their program, Tony's Closet. And it's like fashion like a boutique store, and it provides free brand new household goods for poorer clients and their children as they transition out of their safe housing. In the packet, we provided information about Tony's Closet, and basically Tony's Closet has a wish list for their home goods boutique store, but they also would like to get gift cards to Target, Walmart, gas stations, and grocery stores, because this allows Chorus clients to purchase exactly what they need when they need it. If you peruse through the wish list, it's like includes towels and beddings, things like that. But I don't know what would be the most effective way to gather like donations from the community, because it's it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like fragile stuff too, like cups and
That's really, it's almost like when we have a citywide, it's not a garage, a yard, yeah, like that. I don't know what time of year that is, when you could just put your stuff out there, but.
this is brand new
these are
items.
stuff. I
Yeah.
know, these are new stuff.
Well, it also says you can donate gift cards, so maybe they could even like Venmo the city, and the city can use that money to buy gift cards, so they don't need to like actually physically deliver anything.
That's an option. We do have a Venmo capability.
I like that idea, because then they can get what they want when they need it.
Yeah.
If you can get gift cards, so your gift cards are also designated for the place you go to, like Target, for example.
Yeah, I think they said like Walmart and Target.
Yeah, it's cool.
Gas
Those are good.
stations.
Yeah, things that,
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you could write in the Venmo like gift card for you could identify if you're boycotting Target that you don't want your
Yeah.
gift card to
Should I,
Target.
should I ask about people get we have the letter from like the nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People might want to start doing that now,
Yeah.
end of the year, or
Oh, wow. Yeah, they would.
Okay,
Start thinking
I can
about
a-
their
I can-
donations.
yeah, I can ask.
Well, they could, and then maybe we can also say, I wonder if Cora could set up a campaign for Brisbane
Yeah, we would need a campaign.
so that people can also donate directly to them if they wanted to do it. Because I don't think Brisbane could not provide the tax letter.
Right. I'll ask them how we can make that happen.
And could they do a mailer to everybody's house? To be like, we're participating, Brisbane, you want to participate in this camp? I mean, like, people get the mail.
Yeah. I wonder if they could,
I
if
think
they
for
could,
the star, we could put it in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would, they
January.
probably are already doing some sort of like year-end campaign. So if we wanted to do a separate one, we should probably, they could probably give us the materials.
we
Yeah.
always talk about giving Monday and giving Tuesday, so maybe we can I don't know how you avoid the holidays, because people are getting bombarded.
Mhm.
Right. That's why I'm like, if they could mail it out, is there a way that they can mail out to the Brisbane citizens?
I think it's asking a lot of the nonprofit to do that for like not knowing what the return will be.
Yeah.
Which is why if they could send us something that if we took on the responsibility and the like workload of mailing it out.
For the Martin Luther King like service project, like on behalf, the idea.
The mailer? I'm sorry.
Us like a section of the star
yeah.
to focus on the service project.
Or
Okay.
just stuff the PO boxes.
Mhm.
Is that possible?
To only put it in the PO box?
Well, I'm just saying, if it's gonna be costly, I mean, can we just stuff the PO boxes?
We've never done just like a portion of the mail out.
Well, it'll be available through the blast and then through the song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can add like a insert or something.
Ah,
the
yeah,
star.
that's a great idea. Add an insert to the star. Yeah.
I think it's a different kind of mailing situation because you have to like tab it. Like there's all these like, but yeah, we could actually just include it in the star.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Because then everybody's gonna get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, great idea.
So what about in terms of the event? Carol, would you like to take this on? Because I know this is part of the work plan that you really wanted to,
What are we talking about here?
the MLK
MLK.
event, like
Oh,
a contest, or just,
I mean,
his philosophy being.
what I don't like about Martin Luther King's holiday is that everybody limits the man, limits his vision and, for what he did, which was obvious for sure. But it's more than just that. He's got a bigger vision and a bigger philosophy. And I'd like to find something that we could do that would um, really highlight that in a way to take it out of just the race aspect of it and talk about humanity and people. That's kind of my vision here. So, but I don't know how we would do that. I mean, we didn't really contact the library. It's not the middle of December, but by the time you factor in the holidays, it is going to be. So I don't know what we could do at kind of at this late stage of the game is to have some sort of presentation or reading or something, as opposed to, I don't think they did anything last year, correct?
Just the service project.
Yeah.
Well, I really like the poem essay.
Well, I
contest.
do too. It wasn't, I didn't think of that, but I'm a big one for like doing with the kids and stuff.
Well, I thought,
Their world going to be, why not?
Yeah.
Remind them.
and I thought you could also add an adult category.
Yeah, you could do that too.
And then Carol, to your point, if because they're having a reception or finalists, whatever, and so maybe there's a way to include some sort of broader discussion or presentation.
Yeah.
At that event,
Oh, when they're awarded or
or making that, but making the contest the center point of whatever the event is, but then adding on to it.
We could have, not to get rid of the poetry and the writing, because I think that's a really cool thing to do. But we could have a subsection of people who are giving, I'll call them short speeches. I forget that there was a couple of even contexts where people talk in almost sound bites that really, and this would be for older people, not little people, little younger kids, but would talk about the vision of what Martin Luther King stood for. And that could be one component if we wanted to build on what they did already, because I loved what they did. That was a great idea. Or it could be it could be a presentation kind of thing. If it's going to be a speaking thing, where someone gave a monologue, that's not the right word, and it's not a soliloquy either, but short speeches lasting, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, short, and make it a public event somewhere in the courthouse. And even if it doesn't fall exactly on the date,
Yeah.
because it's a lot to do in a short period of time, we could still have it sometime.
We could have a contest going on all of January, and then we announce the
Mhm.
winner in February for Black
Mhm.
History Month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea, because like I said, the man was an amazing individual, and not to limit the racial aspects of it too, but beyond that, it's bigger than that. It's a more human thing that we don't celebrate, and he certainly doesn't get any credit for celebrating it either.
Eventually, times like this remind us how important that is.
Yeah, well, that we all life is precious. Even
Yeah.
people that act like jerks are precious too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why it's important to me that we do something. But I like that, putting it off until February, because there's just no way it's going to happen between now and it's already the Christmas holidays, and people are just busy, regardless of your religious affiliation. There's busy stuff to do.
We do it in at a council meeting, I think in February. Yeah. No, it sounds like they want to do the speech.
If we can put, if we can,
And
if we
adult,
can
like-
come up with something like, having, what would you call them, speeches? What would I call, what would you call them? You're gonna have like a contest for a 10-minute. I just picked 10 minutes, could be
That's
less.
really
What
long.
would you call it?
That's all.
That's a long, that's a good speech, 10
That's-
minutes
that's
we can
long.
have.
Well,
I mean, if it's like a poetry
Almost like a
slam, it's like,
Toastmaster. So you want like kids who can do the poetry or the essay, and then the adults can do
Yeah,
like a
well, it's all
Toastmaster type of
arbitrary,
speech.
but yeah, we could do that. It could be, older teenagers as opposed to, the 15-ish.
How about
Yeah, you
5
can
minutes?
ask the,
Yeah,
what is
fine.
it?
Yeah.
The
that's-
Yab?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
10 doesn't-
Yak? What is it?
Yeah, the youth advisory committee, yeah.
Yeah. They could help.
And then
spread the word.
celebrating the principles
Mhm.
put forth by Martin Luther King and let
Yeah.
people
celebrate the
expand on it.
Mhm.
But
Um,
not just a quote, but like have them
I think-
research.
yeah,
Yeah, TikTok.
I think if we set it up, we can
Vision
get a
of what Martin
broader
Luther King stood
perspective.
for.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see, a broader perspective to celebrate the man and his vision.
Sounds good. So youth will have, do you guys want to still do essay or poetry? Either one?
Well, I hate to say, why don't we just not reinvent the wheel? Let's do what Belmont's doing.
Do what Belmont's doing for the youth.
I don't care if they say we copied us.
Yeah, we don't get
Yeah, no, they love it.
Their
We
Sincerest
love
form of flattery.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like just do what they
It's a
did,
compliment.
set it up just that way. And then the part that we will do is tack on that for
Adults.
Black History Month, but what do we call it?
5
We call
minutes
it a
speech.
slam, we call it a speech, and so.
You wanted a speech or speech? A talk?
Well, you don't wanna call it a rallying cry, because that could get too rowdy, so to speak.
Would they,
Like a
sorry,
really
would they,
emotional-
A celebration of principles of, I don't know, I say inclusion,
yeah, but, sorry, they would have to submit it beforehand, right?
yeah.
So it's still like an essay that they're gonna read out loud.
Do they want to do, but would you want them to only, the people that will say the speech will be the ones that were winners? Or do you want everyone to?
Well, it just depends on. Look, if we get 500 of them, then we have to whittle them down,
Yeah,
but if we only get 10,
Yeah.
then,
That's still an hour of speeches.
oh, we could
Top
we
five.
could vote internally if we wanted
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
and come down to the top 5 and
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah. And we can like publish it on the idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
page.
Mhm.
Be like, oh, check the idea.
Yeah,
That'd
but
be
you're right, I mean, you don't wanna,
Hey.
half hour seems like a long time, and, yeah, I get it.
Because we need some content on that page anyway. So this could give it some content.
I
Mhm.
think it's a great idea.
It says a 5 minute speech about blank should be focused, organized, and woven around 3 to 5 memorable points. Aim for 650 to 800 words spoken at a
Perfect.
calm pace
Right.
or practice with a timer and target 450 to 600 spoken words depending on your delivery.
Yeah,
That's
clear
good because
structure
the
of
essay
what
is like, I think the essay was like 500 word max, so.
But this is 450.
a little-
450, and you could talk, the word that we want to say, celebrating what?
The legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, or you could talk about,
Like it's
like I
inclusion.
said, I don't mind talking about inclusion. I really don't. I think that's not. I don't know. I can dance around diversity, but I think we could do inclusion. Because sometimes the loneliest thing in our world is people that are excluded for whatever reason.
You want to do celebrating the legacy and inclusive vision?
Principles of
Yeah.
inclusion.
Yeah, I like this inclusive vision or something like that.
Vision of inclusive vision.
Or, what I say, but I wouldn't necessarily put a Buddhist, but you could say, all life is precious or important or some other word, don't use precious, but stuff like that. Espoused by Martin Luther King.
Is there prizes tied to this?
Etsy discount. Um,
You can make a certificate, like a printed.
yeah, and I mean, maybe we can ask some of the local businesses to donate a gift certificate or something like we did for AHPM.
Here, we're gonna do this for these guys.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's the chamber,
That's the
right? Isn't that the
advertising.
chamber, right?
Ask the Evo, EVO.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes, tell them what we wanna do. It should fit in with what they're trying to talk about here.
Well, and it needs to be something, a business that a child would want to go, like the boba shop
Mhm.
or Midtown Market for ice cream.
Crafty.
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking of like every place that Rosie wants.
Mhm.
Probably not generators.
Right.
Although an adult might want a generator.
She's still the boss of all the sweets.
We haven't gotten through all the Halloween candy yet, but I think she's forgotten about it. So.
Oh, your child needs to be talked to about the important things in life, like sugar.
She knows about it. Okay. Are we good on that?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's move on to staff announcements.
We have a new, newly appointed committee member, Marissa Lee Baird, and
Oh,
she's
great.
gonna start in January 1st. They'll be sworn in, and congratulations to all our reappointed members too. We'll be swearing in our appointees December 11th at 6:30 at the council meeting at City Hall.
That's
Make
the
sure we-
reorg meeting.
Yeah, it's gonna be-
It's a what meeting
The
for?
reorg when they
Oh.
changed
Oh,
the
I see.
mayor and vice
Oh,
mayor.
okay.
Oh, it's gonna be a good, we'll have a reception. It'll be a nice meeting.
Families are welcome.
By the way, how do they do that reorg? Is it just like, it's not a vote?
Yeah, they vote.
Yeah,
They vote within
Yeah, that's how they
themselves?
skip.
Oh, okay, that just,
who's gonna be appointed.
Mhm.
okay.
And then there's also recognition of our community development director, John Suki. He's retiring at the end of the year, but that's also that night.
It'll be about me.
A lot.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun meeting. What else were we gonna say? We have
Well, like,
some,
Festival of Lights is Sunday at 6 o'clock at the tree.
they're gonna be selling a lot of merch. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna show you guys the holiday sweater.
Oh,
There's gonna be a community sing. So instead of caroling down visitation will not be closed. There's gonna be a sing along at the tree led by Leanne Borghese. So 6 o'clock. Volunteers of the year will join the mayor and Santa to light the tree.
oh my.
Mhm.
I think the tree was leaning on it. Did you notice?
It's got like a netting of lights now.
Oh, is that it?
Okay, I haven't put on mine. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
big
that's
sweater.
cute.
Actually, very
Wow.
cute.
It's designed by resident Ken Busquet, who was the
With
winner.
the carrots.
With the carrot.
I wish
Good thing.
my neighbor was very upset because he thought the finches were bad. He would send me notes about how I was feeding wild animals and you? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And you didn't know that. The police came to my house 3 times. 3 times. With the threats of fees because I had a bird feeder. We're talking a finch bird feeder.
Not raw chicken for coyotes.
No. I said, okay, you do that. And then Marilyn, bless his heart, he said, well, I have a bird feeder in my backyard. Right? And my husband grabbed him because he runs up and down with the dogs. And
Yeah.
so then, so I said, and the police, I will say, were really wonderful. They were very straight faced. They weren't like overly stern. They just
Mhm.
pitched it perfectly. I would not have, because I just said to them, I'm not giving you 5 little. I don't usually say I'm going to sue, but you can bet that I'm going to make an issue of this. And the police have better things to do than to run around and say that the bird that pooped on that man's car, even after my husband volunteered to buy him a cover for his car, he said it looked tacky, so he didn't put a cover on it. I know, as funny as that is. I'm telling you, this happened 3 times. Now I'm telling you, when the police come to your door, it makes you nervous. Okay. I'm not naming names.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So, that concludes official business.
Any other?
Well, I want to know when we're gonna talk about the issue about Diwali. It doesn't have to be today, it could be next month for that matter.
Yeah, we have to do, it's,
You have to do a
What's the
budget,
issue?
so.
was it supposed to be the policy? It's supposed to be part of the grant making program.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be actually this week. We wanted to hold our meeting. So January, you want to do it the second or third week of January? It's gonna be the policy.
I don't know if I can do it here, I might be able to be
I
on.
thought weren't we gonna do a policy meeting for the flags too?
Oh, the flags, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
so that's
Mm.
too
yeah,
hefty.
we're supposed to. And then we have a flag schedule that has to be updated for 2026, so it does kind of come.
Well, let's prioritize the flags
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, we can worry about
Diwali's
that later.
Yeah.
The
later.
grant program has to be launched soon too.
Cause they
For
can,
the whole
they can just wait. We can make a one-off decision
Mhm.
if somebody
Yeah.
wants something. It won't be a I mean, it won't be a policy, but
Okay,
Okay.
I mean, the issue is Diwali is a
we
Hindu,
could
Is
do
that-
it.
Religious. Yeah.
religious.
Oh.
Should we just
And
discuss
although it,
the
you know,
grant
it's not-
policy as a group in February?
Not everybody, but, I heard a
February.
people said, well, why can't we have a menorah? And see, and so that what that brings about is everybody's discussion of everybody's religion.
Yeah, I did notice that the school talked about it as like an Indian country tradition.
It is.
It is. And even if you ask Dr. Google, it'll tell you that it's a Hindu. It's a Hindu,
Well, let's not talk about it tonight because it's bedtime. So let's add it to the agenda for.
February.
Mhm.
Why don't you just as a group February and then
yeah,
Yeah.
we need a separate policy meeting group for the
the flags.
flags? We'll just do that in January, flag policy.
Let's maybe do a policy for the flag, subcommittee for the flag so that we
Okay.
can present something and then.
Okay, so we'll do that maybe second week and then third week we'll have the meeting. Okay. Those Wednesdays at 6 generally work for people?
Yeah. January. I might have to call in.
Yeah, can we do it as a Zoom for everyone for
me
the
too.
subcommittee?
but- Yeah, if you do it, I'll absolutely.
Yeah, I'll just need addresses.
Oh, yeah.
Karen, that's a girl.
So that's
For the
January
subcommittee? We
subcommittee,
need to,
yeah, January 14th.
okay. May I, this meeting is adjourned at 7:22.
Thank you, ladies. Wonderful.
Thank you.